Let me ask you first, and I'd like to just go down the row, whether each of you believes that nicotine is not addictive. I heard virtually all of you touch on it, and just yes or no. Do you believe nicotine is not addictive?
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
Mr. Johnston.
Congressman, cigarettes and nicotine clearly do not meet the classic definitions of addiction. There is no intoxication.
We'll take that as a no, and again, time is short. If you could just, I think each of you believe nicotine is not addictive. We just would like to have this for the record.
I don't believe that nicotine or our products are addictive.
I believe nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
And I, too, believe that nicotine is not addictive.
All right. Dr. Campbell, I assume that you're aware
Proponents of the global warming theory say that higher levels of greenhouse gases are causing world temperatures to rise and that burning fossil fuels is the reason. But scientific evidence remains inconclusive as to whether human activities affect the global climate. Many scientists agree there's ample time to better understand climate systems and consider policy options. So there's simply no reason to take drastic action now.
Had several investigations that relate to the phenomenon of global warming, climate change, and the human contribution to it. So we are issued a broad subpoena to Exxon because of public statements they have made and how they've really shifted their point of view on this in terms of their public presentation and public reporting over the last few decades. In the 1980s, they were putting out some very good studies about climate change. They were compared to Bell Labs as being at the leadership of doing good scientific work. And then they changed tactics for some reason. And there are numerous statements over the last 20 years or so that question climate change, whether it's happening, that claim that there is no competent model for climate change. So we're very interested in seeing what science Exxon has been using for its own purposes, because they are tremendously active in offshore oil drilling in the Arctic, for example, where the global warming is happening at a much more rapid rate than in more temperate zones. Were they using the best science and the most competent models for their own purposes, but then telling the public, the regulators and shareholders that no competent models existed? Things like that. And that they've been funding organizations that are even more aggressive climate change deniers, and they've made numerous statements, both Exxon officials and in Exxon reports, but also through these organizations they fund, like the American Enterprise Institute, ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council, through their activities with the American Petroleum Institute. So directly and through other organizations, Exxon has said a lot of things that would conflict with the statement that they've always been forthcoming about the realities of climate change. What documents are in there, but certainly all of the claims would lie in some form of fraud.